Hey guys, next up we got Silencer. Now this hero can play two roles, one being support, so post 4, and also mid. I play mostly mid, and we'll be doing a mid build, right? Now this hero works pretty much the same as Pudge in a way where he steals stuff from enemies. So Pudge, if Pudge kills somebody or somebody dies close to Pudge, he steals bonus strength. Silencer steals bonus int in the same way. So if I kill somebody, or if anybody dies close to me, I believe it's 925 range. I get free int from them. Pudge does not steal strength from enemies, he just gets buffed, but this guy also steals int from the enemy, right? He also steals int as he's attacking. So I was gonna attack these guys, you will see. This will go to 6 when I kill him, so you get 2 int per kill, or if anybody dies close, right? And then you're also passively stealing int while you're attacking. So let's take a look. Of course, as the level is higher, you still more int per hit. So this is my stolen int. This lasts for 30 seconds. And then this went to 6. I had it at 4. I killed them twice before this. So now this is 6. I killed them 3 times. And you can see Silencer is kind of like not somebody that needs to go crazy on items to be really effective. By just attacking, you're buffing yourself and you're stealing int. There's going to be a lot of kills, and then you do not have to kill people. You just need to be there in the range to farm the int, right? So great hero in that sense. Now considering items, with boots there's kind of a couple of choices. If you want to go power threads, gives you more int as damage, gives you more attack speed, that's fine. But I usually just go like going travel here. It's actually just one of those heroes again that can, you know, look anywhere on the map. If there's a fight happening here, I can just teleport there quickly with boots of travel, immediately engage in the fight. There's a lot of spells I can cast, Last Word and Arcane Curse, nasty spells with damage and debuffs. This silences enemies no matter what. If they cast spell or if they don't cast spell, there's a timer that when it expires deals damage and silences them. And this kind of a ongoing debuff where the damage is there and stuff, and also movement speed slow. But if they keep casting spells, this kind of gets refreshed, and then it lasts even longer and longer. And if they're silenced, let's say from this or from ult, they're gonna be taking extra damage anyways, right? That's kind of how the hero goes. So as you can see, having travel, you can immediately see if there's anything happening. But there's also ult, of course, that gives global silence. This is one of the nastiest ults in the game by far. You know, just being able to silence everybody on the map wherever you are, right? I didn't mention that, but yeah, that's his ult. So yeah, you know, travel, just take a look anywhere at the map. Maybe I'm busy on the mid, maybe I'm busy in the lane somewhere else, killing waves. I see a fight happening somewhere, I can immediately get there with travel or close to it, and then just unleash all of the good stuff and get a kill, almost guaranteed, right? That's why travel. But power threads are also great, right? Just kind of preference. Now, a couple of smaller items. There's Dragonlance and there's Witchblade. Sometimes I make Dragonlance first, sometimes I make Witchblade first. Both are great for you. Dragonlance, for example, goes into Pike, right? The upgrade is Pike. The other piece is the Force Staff, and then when you buy the Force Staff, you buy the recipe, and then it becomes a Pike. But before it becomes Pike, it gives you extra attack range, and you are, once you cast your Last Word and Arcane Curse or ult, you turn into the right click hero, right? Especially with your stealing and stuff. It can be a lot of damage. Your attack is buffed by Glaives of Wisdom. As you can see, int to damage. So Dragonlance allows you to be like, you know, to have much more options in reaching somebody with the attack, and the stats are also great. You're using all of the stats from these items. It says 16 agility. Agility for you means attack speed. Attack speed means more damage, but by this you of course you want attack speed. Also gives you armor. Agility, you know, you will be there in the fights taking damage, and that's also why the strength is great. Extra health, you need that survivability anyways. And then, you know, wherever you decide, just bump that into Pike. You'll be getting Force Step, like I said. Force Step, usual stuff, gives you mobility. There's nothing in here that gives you any of that, you know, no jumps or leaps or movement speed buffs. So something like Pike is kind of a must for Silencer. Not only that, they also just won't stop attacking him. Also the usual use of Pike, you know. The usual use of Pike where you can push them back and do like 5 attacks quickly, right? Before they can even start reaching you. So Pike just in general, great item. If you wanna just make Pike and run around with boots, that's completely fine. Whenever you decide to go with boots, just that and Pike is more than enough for Silencer, because again he's stealing stats on int on hits, he's stealing int whenever anybody dies. Your attack is always getting stronger, and it's really just easy with the follow. It's spells that you can also incorporate in your attacks. Really easy for Silencer to deal massive damage to anybody, right? However you wanna use this on one target, more targets, you can just cover it all. The first one is AoE also, so you know, much more chance to hit bigger amount of heroes with the Arcane Curse. So Pike, kind of, I would say it's a must-have whenever you want to upgrade it, right? We're talking about Witchblade. Witchblade is attack speed, it's int is more damage, it's armor is, you know, it's not something that great, but you still need armor, you still be in the fights, it helps as well. Nothing is really wasted, right? Projectile speed gets there, gets to the enemies faster, and then the nasty passive effect, the poison, the 25% slow, and then 0.75 extra damage as your int, right? And then the attack also has True Strike. So like a lot of stuff is packed into this small item, into Witchblade, right? A lot of good stuff. And later on, as they added that not so long ago, Witchblade can be upgraded into this item. This is Revenant's Brooch. Really nasty upgrade, becomes castable, and then you know, besides the whole buff in almost everything, it's you just kind of add Mystic Staff and then you buy the recipe. But you can press this and get now 5 attacks with True Strike, and they kind of turn into magic damage. And you know, let's say there's somebody like Phantom Assassin, there's somebody with Butterfly. Once you get this, you'll have at least 5 guaranteed attacks that will not miss no matter what. Plus, as you can see, the passive Witchblade, you know, the Witchblade effects all persist into this, you just upgrade it. So, you know, you upgraded your Pike from the Dragonlance, you upgraded your Witchblade into Revenant's Brooch. Whenever you decide to do those, it's completely fine. Just one item that you should also never skip is Black King Bar, because, you know, as usual, once you cast your spells, you're left there right clicking. You need to be able to do that. You cannot allow to be stunned or hexed, disabled in any way. Even worse, if they kind of jump you and you can't do anything about it, and then you die without even casting gold. That's probably the worst of them all. Something to compare like Enigma dying without her ult, or like Omni Knight dying with his physical protection ult. It's pretty bad, especially if they're mostly spellcasters. Let's say their supports are more spell oriented, their mid is more spell oriented, maybe something like Zeus or Queen of Pain or Skyrat. I mean, even heroes like Void Spirit or Ember Spirit, right? You don't want to silence those rat type of heroes that just kind of fly around the map. Anti-mage as well, you know, you can silence them and kill them. That is if it doesn't have Manta Style. If it has Manta Style, you're kind of screwed, but still, there's also last word. But yeah, just the general great use of Black King Bar, whether it's offensively, defensively, always make that. At some point you'll always need it, so kind of decide if you want to go for this earlier, if you want to go for this later. If you feel fine in the game, if you can cast this, cast all of your spells and then fight, and then also survive, you can delay this as much as you want then. But it kind of depends how on your like movement around the map, around the fight. This is not a hero like let's say Zeus, where you can just stay back and spam your spells. With Silencer, you need to be in the fight. You'll be there in the fight. You cannot move away from the fight. You'll be there, and they'll be definitely jumping on you. They'll always try. If there's a Silencer, the enemy will always try to jump on you first and kill you. No matter what, they'll always go for you. So that's why Black King Bar, right? I put also some couple of different things, but again, Silencer does not really need all of this crap to be really powerful, right? This is some extra stuff, but it's still pretty big stuff. Shiva Card, it's like another effect. It gives you extra armor, the slow with the freezing blast, extra 200 damage. Anybody attacking you gets their attack speed slow. You know, all the usual stuff. Also gives you 30 int. 30 int is damage for you, so you get extra damage, extra armor, extra spell damage, slows, you know, all that stuff. So Shiva is always a great idea for Silencer. and you will get the benefit from it because you will be in the fights, people will be attacking you, they will be in the range of the blast, the freezing wave and stuff. So Shiva is completely fine if you want to go that. Hex as well. Hex in general, it just gives you, it also gives you 35 int. That's damage on top of you know, just being able to disable somebody. If they gotta sit in Hex, you can do so much damage before they even get out. And there's also a way where you can Hex them. This guy is gonna die too fast from the Witch Blade effect. So you can also do stuff like Hex them and then cast the last word. So as soon as they get out of Hex, I could have cast earlier. See, they just go right into silence. So the way you can do it is actually cast, because it's not exactly explode at the same time, you can cast this and then silence. Last word and then Hex. So pretty much as soon as they get out of one effect, that being Hex, they go straight into silence from the last word. And that's why Hex, you know, on top of just extra damage, extra stats, Hex effect, no matter how you combo it. But that's one way, right, from Hex into silence. If they can't break that silence in any way, they're kind of screwed. They're taking damage into Hex. Now they're taking damage in the they're silenced. If they get away, you can use the Force Staff from the Pike, catch up with them, reapply the Arcane Curse, is gonna slow them down. Reapply this if you cast this, reapply this, reapply everything again. The cooldowns are not that big. This is 10 seconds. This is 14. This is 20. The cooldowns are not something crazy. You know, they're pretty low. Even Shiva is kind of higher than Hex. Shiva is 27, right? So yeah, those items always work if you don't go for those. Still, it's a lot of money depending if you went for upgrades, which you should always get this upgrade. Now, the Revenant's Brooch is not something you need to go for immediately, but yeah, it can be a lot of money. Shard pretty much gives you extra attack, so if there's another enemy, let's say somewhat closer to this one, it doesn't allow me. I still have to dump something from the backpack. That's ridiculous. So Shard is gonna let me attack, as you can see, something like Luna, pretty much. You get Luna's effect, but it's not all the targets, it's just 2 targets, and it's 50% reduction on the second target. So if you're gonna get Shard, Shard always works the best if there's a lot of melee types of heroes against you, so somebody that needs to be close to each other. They can't easily spread out, they're kind of close, you kind of stole a lot of int, let's say. You know, Shard can be a really nice buff to just transfer that attack to another target once you're doing that whole damage, right? So Shard is for that. Now, some other items, there's always Silver Edge. If you're gonna go Shadow Blade into Silver Edge, opening up with the buffed glaives, and then int you stole, and then the crits, and then also the break effect. With Silver Edge, you can just, let's say, you attack somebody like Phantom Assassin. Let's say this is not Revenant's Brute, this is just Witch Blade, it's not upgraded yet. So let's say you just attack Phantom Assassin, you can really destroy her, no problem. With this, you're not gonna miss, and this is 4 seconds, that's more than enough. Also, you just apply the spells. If she has Black in bar and goes after you, I mean, sure, you kind of screwed then, but you can maybe still get away with the Pike. But if not, if it's something you kind of rushed, Shadow Blade into this, it's a lot of damage, breaks the passives. Let's say there's Bristleback, breaks his passive, stuff like that. Maybe there's Ench, breaks Herald, that stops your attack speed pretty much, puts it to 0, one of the more nastier ults. So yeah, stuff like that, or just extra damage and crits. There's passive crits in here. As you can see, 52 damage, 35 attack speed, all benefits plus the extra movement speed whenever you go, right? And kind of force them to carry dust and wards also, if that's the case. So that's one item that you can also make whenever you want. Let's say maybe you don't want to go Shiva, maybe you don't want to go Hex. It's a lot of money, those items. This one is much easier to reach. It goes into Shadow Blade first. Shadow Blade is not that crazy to get. The pieces are also great, so if you can go whatever route you can. Scepter is really team pick dependent for me if I'm playing Silencer mid. Your Scepter makes your second spell, so this one is AoE by default, Arcane Curse, right? This is a single target. With Scepter it becomes also an AoE. Now, it's kind of like a big AoE silence, right next to this. The reason when I get this is when there's a lot of illusions, and it somehow happens that there's nobody in my team, my supports or my offlane or my mid, nobody can really deal with those illusions fast enough. Let's say there's Phantom Lancer, or there's Siren, or there's Chaos Knight, you know, just heroes that create whole armies out of illusion, especially Lancer. And once you kill all of the illusions and find the right one is also buffed. It takes time to kill him. He can already go into his spell and make, I forgot the name of the spell, he can just go into that and make even more. If there's Manta style, he just presses Manta again and so on. So there was a couple of games where I felt like I needed to make Scepter because of those heroes. Nobody from my team had AoE spells, or the AoE spells were not enough, or they just died before they could cast AoE spells, and we could never clear illusions fast enough to find the right one and, you know, quickly identify them. So this can help with that. If it happens that you're playing Silencer and they pick a hero like that, this can definitely help, because you just get the curse, get the last word. Last word does the damage to all of illusions, but still there's a delay. That's kind of the nasty part. There's also, this is not instant damage. It's like a damage, it's like a dots damage over time. That's the problem as well. But once this goes off, it silences everybody. So if you find the right one, then he's gonna be silenced, and then maybe you have a chance, much better chance to kill him, right? So that's kind of the case where I think about this. Might not even help you, maybe just a waste of time. The stats are not that crazy. Plus 10 attributes and health and mana. You do not care about stats at all that much with Silencer with this, right? It's much about the effect. But yeah, and there's some really nice extra item, but it also depends very much on the enemy team. They also sometimes try to make this refresher. Refresher kind of like all of those other heroes, you know, let's say there's Omni Knight. There's a lot of physical type of damage heroes. You might just go for this if there's ever a chance. Cast a double load, you know, the stuff that goes Enigma for Tread, heroes like that. With Silencer is the same. If there's a lot of, you know, let's say their support, post 4 and post 5, are something like Shadow Shaman and Lion, or any combo that's heavy on the spells, you know, stuff like that. Their mid is maybe also somebody that likes to cast spells, like I said, Ember Spirit, maybe Puck, maybe Queen of Pain, maybe, what's the other one? Void Spirit. Then let's say there's like offlaner is something like Tides, or maybe like Chaos Knight, or maybe, I don't know what they went for, maybe Sven, you know, anything like that. Still, in that case, let's say you think about going for refresher of that could be a great case when you could benefit a lot from this, because nothing can really stop the global silence once you cast it over something. So if you cast this, let's say I just cast this now, and this Tides has Blacking Bar. If you cast the Blacking Bar, of course you can get out. But if he had to use the Blacking Bar and then jump into fight, and then I cast my silence, it just goes over his Blacking Bar. He can't cast any spells. And if you have a refresher, you're kind of guaranteed to silence them no matter what they have. They're gonna be stuck at least on the second wave of silence, right? But yeah, it's kind of problematic in that sense. If there's a hero like this, let's say it doesn't have to be Tides, but somebody with Blacking Bar, if you cast your silence, they can break with the Blacking Bar. But if you can bait them enough where they kind of use this, let's say this Tides wants to use Blacking Bar, let's say he has it, it doesn't really go for it, but let's say he just has it, he presses this and he's about to blink in and cast Ravage. If you see that, you can kind of immediately cast silence, and then even though he's under Blacking Bar, he won't be able to ult, right? And I mean, that's kind of what you have to be aware of. But once they cast this and then you silence, then they're really silenced. And unless there's, you know, something like Manta style, or maybe, I don't know if even Manta breaks it. I can't even remember now. But yeah, depending on the enemy picks, what I was saying, if there's a lot of disablers there, if their support is Spellcaster combo, if their mid is somebody who nukes, if their offlaner is somebody like Tides. I mean, Tides does not play Blacking Bar, I don't know why I was even say that, but yeah. You know, you can make a refresher and then do a big 12-second silence. And if not everybody there supports will definitely feel it, because support does not have anything to break out of this. Support does not make Manta style, if that even works. They do not have Blacking Bars. If there's Aeon Disc does not protect them from silence. I mean, they can block some damage, but it does not matter much. This is much longer, 6 seconds, and Aeon Disc is like 2.5 second protection. So even when that expires, they're still screwed, right? So yeah, a couple of games where I made this. I would just cast this, wait a couple of seconds or however I need to wait. If I can wait the full amount, just refresh, cast the ult again, and they got really stuck and they couldn't do much, right? And we just kind of cleared them all out and pushed them on. But yeah, it's a lot of money. The pieces, as always, are horrible. The pieces cost a lot of money. They're pretty horrible for you, just some passive regeneration that you do not care for, especially because it's going to be late game. When you're trying to build refreshings, it's going to be even mid. It's going to be late game if it really goes long. And pieces are horrible and useless. A lot of money, a lot of also like you can't even keep them in the inventory. They're going to take valuable space. So you're going to be walking around with 2 of them in the backpack probably. But yeah, if you can feel like that would win the game, if you can get to that, if you know, there's a good chance of you having refreshed, just being able to sign into those nasty disablers can win you the game, yeah, then go for it. You know, whatever you decide, you should get this. I can't really say because I can't see the enemy team. I can't see the game right now, and I can't see anything, but you kind of get the idea, right? So yeah, those items, and then you know, some stuff like if I'm gonna go for Edge, for Scepter, like I said, and then Blacking Bar is a must-have. You know, Shiva Card, like I said, the whole armor and damage and the effect and the sight as well, from Hex into Silence while being hit for extra damage from Glaives. All of that good stuff is always a guaranteed value no matter what, right? And you know, Refresher and Scepter is some fun stuff that you can just decide whether the situation kind of requires you to make those, right? Try to win the game, be the hero and win the game by yourself, right? Those games also happen. So yeah, that's kind of the whole thing with the items and spells. What's left is talent tree. Talent tree, I just take attack speed, of course. Second one, just take some extra attack range. It will keep you safe. You do not have to be that close to the fight. Attack range with this, attack range with the pike. Actually, with the dragon lance, you don't have to have pike. Dragon lance alone will give you attack range. So it's a great way to build some distance while you just nuke with your attacks, right? You're stealing int, you're getting int when everybody dies. You can see how much you would benefit, right? Just take the attack range. Third one is interesting, but unless if I'm playing support Silencer, and maybe as support I made Scepter, as support you would much rather make something like Scepter. But this is just much better if you have a Scepter. Some like int multiplier, like again, this takes time to get the damage out, to kind of explode and deal its last effect. They might just have you know, something like Hood or Shroud or Pipe and just don't care. Maybe like a Blacking Bar or also not care. And it can be just a huge waste to just going for 1.2 extra multiplier. It's not something that insane. I would much rather always take ult cooldown, because ult is the big one. 75 seconds instead of 100. Yeah, I think it's a lot better. And ult is something that can really just, you know, completely win you the fight. Depending how you can assess the situation, the fight, the whole pre-fight thing, and when you cast this at the right moment, you can just win the fight on this alone, right? So kind of always like having this as much of the time available as I can, you know, compare with this. And last one, it's some more damage in this, and then the mute effect is your items get muted, the active effect. So if I take the left one, last word mute, so this is the spell. So if I hit Tides, say this is Tides, if I hit Tides with this, and he has Blacking Bar or he has a Hex, I'm just saying, of course he's not gonna have Hex, but this Tides then cannot cast any of these, you know, any of these spells, really, any of these. So whoever it is, they can't cast Blacking Bar, they can't cast Hex, they can't cast the Brooch or the Pike effect, nothing. So it's kind of like Disruptor's ult buffed by Scepter when he mutes your whole inventory. So that's what this does. Again, it depends a lot on what they have in the inventory. If you're trying to chase somebody and they just constantly keep using, let's say something like Yule Scepter and stuff, if you can get this off before they can cast that, it kind of prevents them from also flying in the air and being annoying and then escaping on top of this. Let's say it's Puck or maybe like Void Spirit. Can be really annoying with that. It kind of depends, but yeah, that's what it does. It's nothing too crazy here, but I would probably just go for the last word mute. You know, just to have an effect to block their inventory from being able to cast all of these items is pretty great, right? 50% glaives of wisdom damage. I think it will be more than useless. I think level 25. If you're level 25, the game has gotten very long usually, and you'll have a lot of stolen int by that time. You have a lot of just buff damage, especially with the items, and again you still attack on every hit because of Glaive's passive, and you know, they really need 15% on top of that. This might be completely useless, but still kind of worth it. You never know what's gonna happen. It just blocks their inventory, so I would always get the mute. It doesn't block the stats. That's the thing only. So he can cast the Blacking Bars, you know, press it, but I do not block his damage and strength. Also, I do not block these stats or these stats. I just block the clickable aspects, right? But still worth it. So that's kind of Silencer mid. Of course, there's a couple items that you can also make. Something like Rod. Sometimes I kind of forgot, but I would kind of sometimes opt for Rod. Rod is also like an item that gives you. Let's just dump this. Actually, no. Let's just dump Shiva. I don't want to look at Shiva. So Rod kind of also really nice stats. Int again, strength and agility. You know, kind of like Witchblade. It gives you all the stuff that you need, or like a pike. And you know, just another way to keep him grounded. Now you can just kind of pour all the spells on him. You can use the combo as well of just using the last word and then into the Rod. Once they get out, they get silenced. So at the same second they get to move freely, they're still silenced. So pretty much the same combo as with the Hex, where you can use last word. But this is of course much cheaper and much more available earlier, right? And Gleipnir also, if you want to upgrade that. Gleipnir is also fine. Maelstrom might feel weird, but Silencer is gonna get that damage anyways, attack speed. You can even get value from that, and Gleipnir can be really nice as well, right? Just kinda trap a bunch more of them. But yeah, I just depends. Sometimes like I kinda go for it. If I feel like, you know, maybe there's like again, maybe there's Ember Spirit, maybe there's Storm Spirit, maybe there's Void Spirit. Just a bunch of annoying stuff like that where I feel like we can never have enough things to keep him rooted and get the kill. They always keep getting away. Maybe there's Lincoln Sphere that they always have it, right? Even that one item that somebody has, they just block that and get away. So depending on the enemy pick, Weaver as well, if there's Weaver, I might just go for the Rod of Athos. So stuff like that pretty much when I would decide to go for it. But yeah. If not, if there's no any special occasions, something like this, of course, does have to be upgraded into Brooch, and it does have to be both Shiva and Hex. It can be just one, but always keep Blacking Bar in mind, and always keep the Pike in mind. You don't have any more ability, and this just solves that. Saves you if anybody gets too close, you can cast the Pike and push them away, deal some extra damage before they even start getting close. If they do start getting close, just cast the Arcane Curse, slows them down, applies the debuff, damage over time, last word as well, and then you'll have something else or somebody else helping you probably. And even if you die, you'll deal a lot of damage to the other guy, right? So that's kind of it. Not really much to say, just kind of farm the int with this. If you see a fight happening and somebody's about to die, always try, if you have Force Staff or Pike here, always try to push yourself into the range where you can steal the int. So always try, if you're gonna fire, always try to get there if anybody's about to die, to steal that extra int is gonna mean a lot later on when this piles on. Never miss a chance to steal int, right, from anybody. It also damages them because it takes int from them as well, so always try to get there. And yeah, that's gonna be it, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one.